Check 1 2. What's going on, guys? This is Ivan Cazarez here. We're coming to you guys live with the Time Talk podcast. This is our second episode, and I'm super excited to welcome my buddy, my friend, team member, business partner, Gio Ruiz. He's here with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Stoked to be here.
Yeah, so I'm super excited because today we're going to talk about a little bit about real estate, right? So in this podcast, as you guys know, it's oh, we got the cops. They're coming for somebody.
That's like the one of the perks of this new office, right? Is like we're on a busy like area. A lot of people see the signs, but then you also get some of that here and there. So don't mind our action-packed background sounds sometimes.
Yeah, and so like I was saying, what's super exciting about this podcast is one of the things that we want to do is deliver more information than just real estate, life, spiritual, health, wealth, and so today we're going to talk about what some of you guys are following us for, and it's really just real estate. What's happening in the market? It's 2021 and things have changed, and we want to start off with reading some stats. Right now, it is a crazy seller's market, and today you're really going to learn a lot of what to expect out of the marketplace, whether you're a seller or you're a buyer, and what to expect. So, Gio, tell us a little bit about what's happening with the stats.
For sure. So there's a few key metrics we want to look at. New listings, obviously, that's just is exactly what it sounds like. How many new listings are there on the market? And there's a change of 6%, so negative 6% less available. Pending sales and closed sales, though, are up 12 to 14%. Not a surprise, right? Interest rates are low, so a lot of people can afford homes, and so everything that's available is getting bought out. Days on market, this one's crazy, man. Days on market, it's down 47%, so things are going 47% faster. So the average days on market last year was 44 days, and now it's down to 23.
Holy moly.
So the house is like that. That's why I'm sure, right? Like, how many clients have you said, like, dude, it just hit the market on Wednesday? What do you mean it's already pending on Saturday?
Yeah. That's probably my favorite one, right? Because I feel like, before we would have like, oh, let's just go take a look at it this weekend.
Yeah.
And now it's like, hey, it just came out today. We got to go see it today or tomorrow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's like, and it's a bummer because how many clients are you working with where they work a 9 to 5, they can't get off on Wednesday at 3 to go see it, and now it gets dark earlier. It's like, so we can't go till this weekend. It's like, well, let's not even look at houses until Thursday or Friday because those are the ones that will be available this weekend.
Yeah. And well, let's just add to that too. So I think what's really been more difficult too with showings is, so for the people that are watching and don't know, is we actually have to send a PED form. And so PED is basically stating that, hey, you haven't been in contact with anyone that doesn't have or has been exposed to COVID. And so we have to send these forms to a listing agent, and they have to approve our time. And then because of COVID, we're not doing showings like before where it was like, come whenever. Now it's like you have 15-minute increments, and we're only doing showings from like Saturday and Sunday, and it's going to be from like 1 to 2. And
3 people in the house total. And PED form is a property entrance advisory disclosure.
Yeah.
Right? That's like, so just for those people listening that aren't familiar with what the acronym's for.
Totally. And I think, so kind of going off the showings, it's been super frustrating because some people are like, oh, today's all booked. You can't see it today. And
that's never happened, really. We're booked. What do you mean you're booked? Like, we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. Nope, you can't see it. Nope, Saturday and Sunday are booked. And you're like, how the heck am I going to get my clients to see this house? And now with 23 days average time, it's even crazier. Was it 23 days?
23 days.
Yeah.
Well, 23 days, yeah. So it's down 47%. Let's see here. Let's keep going with the stats, huh? Prices are up a little bit. Average sales price up 18% from last year. And then these are all stats. The percentages I'm referring to are from the last year. So in change over a year. And then this one's the craziest, is a month's supply of inventory. And last year it was 2.2. So that meant that out of all the homes for sale, we would run out of homes in 2.2 months if nothing new came on.
Yep.
Now it's 0.8. That means that we'll be out of, so if no new homes come on the market between, for a month, we'll be out before the month's end. So they'll last 3 weeks. That's why everything goes so fast, right?
It's crazy. That is absolutely mind-boggling. Like, it's wild, right, to think that.
Yeah, that was for detached. Attaches are very similar. 0.7 inventory for detached or attached. So condos, townhomes, those type of things. But the days on market are the same and all that. So
Yeah.
but I mean, it's cool though. There's a lot happening in the market. It doesn't. I don't want it to sound so like it's not meant to be discouraging. I'm not saying it's like, because we are getting offers accepted. It's not like people aren't getting houses. It's just you have to be willing right now that if you're looking for a house, you have to be ready for a little bit of heartache and also just like a little more adaptability.
Yep, I agree. And I think it's just really setting that expectations with our clients, right? So it's like one of the things that we were talking about in our team meeting is, now we have to write offers a certain way. We have to do our presentations a certain way, where before we were able to say, all right, let's wait till this weekend to see this house. Or, hey, let's come in under asking. Let's ask for closing costs, where now everything starts at asking or above. You know what I mean?
The price
right?
wise. Yeah, you'll be like, hey, look, it needs the paint, it needs the flooring. Let's just let them not do it, and we'll write it 10K under, and they'll get it. And now it's like, no, there's no flooring and no paint, but they'll give you maybe it's just tough.
Well, and so we tell you guys this so to set some realistic expectations, right? So if you're a buyer entering the marketplace today, like these are the things that you should expect. Like you're gonna write an offer above asking price, and most of the times you're gonna release some contingencies. Maybe you're gonna say, hey, I'm buying this house as is, which is a scary market. It's a scary place to be, but at the same time, if it makes sense, right? Like financially, if it makes sense, if you're renting right now and it makes sense to buy, then do it. Right. And so more than anything, we just wanted to educate, with this.
Something my dad always told me too was when you're buying a house, and this is more for first time home buyers, not necessarily investment, right? If you're buying a house, it can always be the right time to buy regardless of what's going on. If it's going to be the house where you live and it's going to be somewhere where you hold on to and you're there. If you're buying it with the intention of trying to sell it in a year or two, maybe 3, then probably this kind of market isn't the kind of market you want to dabble in. But if you're buying with the intention to buy a home, to kind of be there for a while, and the market always has fluctuations. So the value might dip a little bit, it might get stronger. We don't know. We don't have that crystal ball. But if you should be fine if you're living there with the intent of making it your home, right?
Yep.
Over time. Because I think you always said this is like, when was the last time rent prices went down?
Yeah.
Rent doesn't go down.
That's so true. And one of my favorite quotes to add to that is, and I don't know who says it, but you could probably Google it. It just says, don't wait and buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. Right. And so real estate's really a long-term investment. You think about our parents, our grandparents, when they bought houses, and you hear some of these stories where like, well, we bought it for $150,000. You're like, where? Where was this at?
Yeah. Well, okay. So with that, if you own a house, now's the time to sell, because you can move to that bigger house you wanted and have that same payment, which is insane. But let me tell you a story of something that just happened on my last transaction. One was I was helping this family find a home, and we found this perfect house, and the people had lived there for like 20 years. And before them, their grandparents had lived there for 20 years. So it's been in their family for like 40, 50 years, right? Wow. And the grandparents bought the house for like $20K.
That's crazy.
And so instead of sell it to the kids, they just passed it on to the kids, the grandkids. So they inherited the house. And so they just sold it for like 6 something, right? So
it's mind-blowing.
Dude, they bought the house for $20K and they sold it for 6 something.
Wow.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
But that's generational wealth, right? Like, it's over time.
Absolutely.
And the house was obviously, like, they'd taken care of it. It wasn't like, we haven't done anything since we bought it back in the day. But that's like one of those stories, right? Like you were saying, like, where the crazy value over time comes.
You're gonna make money. You're gonna make money. So if you're a buyer, is it the right time to buy?
That's something that everyone always asks, like, is it the right time to buy?
Yeah, and we want to be sincere, right? And I would say is the right time to buy is when it makes sense for you.
Yeah,
right.
Always.
So if you're renting right now and you're paying, I don't know, $1,200, which I don't think you can pay $1,200 anywhere, but if you are, then maybe, hey, that's a good place. Like, stay put. Maybe you're living in a casita somewhere. Like, that's a comfortable payment. But if you're already paying $3,500, $4,000 a month, like, yes, right now might be a good time for you to buy.
Yeah, because the interest rates, I mean, even if, so everyone always says, like, well, what if prices drop next year? It's like, well, then interest rates will go up, and your payment will be the same for the less house. So
Yeah.
you'll still be paying $2,500, but instead of affording a $500,000 house, now you're only can afford a $450 house. Just like that's how the numbers work out of it.
Well, and that, right? So with that being said, like, if you do buy, make sure, like Gio said in the beginning, like, hey, this might be a little bit longer term investment right now. So if you're thinking about, like, hey, I'm just going to get in I'm going to buy a house, and in a year or two, I'm going to sell it. Like, we're going to be honest with you guys. This might not be the market, right?
You might rent it in two years.
Yeah. And you will make money because the market goes up and down, right? And so we'll go back up to that peak where you can get your money out of it. But more than anything, there's still good values out there. I know that personally, you were just made an offer on a house, right?
Yeah. So it's like I'm. It's a good time for me. Like, so I'm gonna do it because it's a good time for us. So we have a little baby. We need another room. We need more space.
Yeah.
So if the right place comes up, then we'll do it. We made an offer. We didn't get it. Just like a lot of buyers in the market now. You know? Well, which is actually kind of interesting, right? Like, we're realtors. We know what the market's like. We know what offers get accepted. Mm-hmm. We wrote it as best I could.
Yeah.
And we still didn't get it. So that's for clients that are shopping right now and you feel discouraged. It's okay, and that's just part of what it's like being in the market right now. Is you're not going to get every house you make an offer on. Try not to get so attached. Yes, it's exciting, but you're not going to get everyone. Try not to get your heart broken, and more than ever, just the tenacious attitude and people who are staying in it are the ones getting the houses, right? So
and I think to add to that, like, I love that you practice what you preach, right? So I'm a firm believer of that. Like, they'll tell somebody to buy a house if you're not willing to buy a house, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like you said, like, you're buying because you've outgrown your house, and so now you need a bigger place. Mm-hmm. And so it makes sense for you, right?
Yeah.
And so I love that, and so I think it's more encouraging, guys. Like, hey, there's still good deals out there. There's still great opportunities. We just have to look, and sometimes also be creative. So if you're working with a real estate agent, or you are with a real estate agent, some of the things that we're doing is, we're doing a lot of mailers right now. We're doing a lot of cold calling,
creating inventory.
Yeah, creating inventory. Don't wait till, inventory shows up. Go out there and look for it, right? So doing a little circle prospecting. If you want to live in a specific neighborhood, your agent or yourself as an agent should be calling that neighborhood and farming the neighborhood, calling the top agents in that marketplace and see if they have any off-market listings. And it's all about relationships. I know that we were able to get one of our clients a house that never hit the market, and it was just a matter of relationships, and our client this house would have never came up, or I'm sorry, it would have came up, and it would have been priced higher, and we got this house at a ridiculous price right now for $450, which is like unheard of, right? And so our clients are stoked. They're winning. They're getting an awesome house for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $450, and it's like unheard of. And so it needs a little bit of work, but our clients their parents are contractors, and so they're totally willing to do the repairs and do the work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so
let's do this. I'm a buyer. I just started in the market. How do you prepare someone? How do you prepare to go out there right now? And what can you do to put yourself in a better position if you do need a house and you are wanting to get one? Like, we're talking to buyers now, right? So, like, what could I do as a buyer to prepare myself or be in a better position to get a house?
That's a great question. So I would say getting pre-approved. Like, more than ever, you have to make sure your ducks are in order, right? Like, where before it was like, you know what, let's just go look at a house, and if I like it, like, then I'll get pre-approved.
Because you got to be able to pull the trigger fast on it, right?
Yeah, because it's not going to be around in 2-3 days or even a week. So
23 days maximum, then it's out of there.
Yeah, right? And so, I mean, you want to make sure you're pre-approved, I would say, is like, and then work with someone that is a good lender, right? So I'm sure your real estate agent can recommend somebody. Don't necessarily go online, like, and find the Quicken Loans, or I probably shouldn't say the name, but like someone that just will give you a pre-approval letter, over the spot, like someone that really did their due diligence, checked your credit.
How important is it to be able to communicate with a lender?
Oh, 100%. So,
like, as an agent, right?
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things, some of these big banks, they work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and that's fine. But if you need to write an offer over the weekend,
That's fine until you need a fresh pre-approval on Saturday at 5.
yeah, and your real estate agent's like, dude, I can't write this offer till Monday, and they're reviewing offers Sunday, and so you're like, shoot. So I think definitely reach out to your agent if you're not working with an agent. A couple good agents here, right? But yeah, I think that would be the number one. What would you say is another big thing that you would suggest buyers to do to get ready?
Right now, more than ever, and it is working with someone who knows what's going on. Like, if you have a friend who's a part-time agent and maybe they sell a house or two a year, like, now is not the time to help your friend out if you're serious about buying a house. And I'm sorry, like, it's just not, because they don't know. This thing is changing every week. Last week there was something that was working with offers, and maybe this week the rules changed because a new form came out. I remember when COVID first started, the PED form, the property entrance form, was getting changed every 2 weeks because they were adding things, removing things. There was different rules about seeing homes. So now more than ever, you need to work with someone who's actually engaged in the marketplace and working with clients on a consistent full-time basis, knows the logistics of what's going on, and also making sure that, you don't get a lot of shots because there's not a lot of inventory. So when you do write an offer on a house, you want someone who knows what are the winning traits of an offer. So put my best foot forward and put myself in the best opportunity to get this house. Someone who's not in the market isn't going to know those things, and they're going to be learning with you. Yeah. You don't want to be learning at the same time. You know what I mean? In most markets, that's fine, but right now, it's just going to take you longer to find a house.
I agree, right? And it's just like those little key things where, finding out, like, if you have a buddy who's a new real estate agent and he's getting dictated by his clients, like, how should we write the offer? I don't know. You tell me how we should write the offer. Like, you want to write under asking? Okay, sure, let's do that. Like, we're just you would be wasting your time. Yeah,
and getting your hopes up.
And getting your hopes up. You'd be wasting your time. And so I think working with a true professional, someone that knows the marketplace, someone that knows what's going on, and doing a little bit of homework up front, right? Finding out, do they have offers? Yes, right? That's going to be an obvious. Where are those offers coming in at? What's important to the seller? So one of the things right now, it's leaning towards a big seller's market. So maybe the seller needs to rent back, needs to stay in place, stay in possession for a couple weeks. And so sometimes by adjusting your offer accordingly, you can have that winning offer, right? And so it's just knowing little things and doing a little bit of homework instead of just writing an offer. It's more than just submitting a letter. I know something that you're doing that's really creative is doing videos when you submit your offers to the listing agents.
Yeah, that's been pretty successful when we submit offers for our clients. I send a video with our email so it stands out, right? Because I don't think every other agent's doing a video. Yeah. And, we just, hey, my name's Gio. This is who you'd be working with. Tell me if there's anything we can do to strengthen our offer. Here's the highlights. Bam, bam, bam. It's not as good as the love letters you used to be able to do now that those are like outlawed, right?
Yep.
What for those that don't know, you used to be able to write a letter to the sellers with a picture of your family, and it was like, hey, this is me and Julia, and this is our son Steven, and
Billy.
Yeah. And our dog, and we're going to take care of your house. And they worked a lot. I got a lot of offers accepted with those letters.
But, they're gold. They're gold.
But now it's Fair Housing Act and stuff, just to keep it a fair game. So best thing we can do is assure a smooth transaction with that video up front.
Yeah, and then that's a good way you can literally tell the other agent a little bit about your client without having to put it in writing and send them a picture. It's like, hey, this is the family, good family, first-time home buyers, they've been saving, they got their down payment, pre-approved with our preferred lender. This is someone that we use, trust, know. We know they're going to get the job done. It's going to be seamless, right? And so definitely going out of your way and making sure that it's not just submitting a blank offer.
And back to the thing about how important it is to work with someone, I was just thinking of last year, March time, right? There was everything shut down.
COVID hit, yeah.
Before they were essential, non-essential, blah, blah. Everything was closed. So I had 2 escrows where somebody was moving here and buying a house, and these people were selling and moving. And Pennsylvania got shut down. So because everything got shut down over there, our escrow got shut down. So then we had to do all these forms and navigate it. And it's that's not new agent territory, man.
Oh, yeah.
There's people in limbo here where they're going to move, they're going to be homeless if this sells, and this is the timing to keep pieces up with all the moving parts right now. it's I'm glad I got some experience under my belt going into this market. That's for sure.
Yes, sir. Yeah, because there's a lot of contingencies, right? So people are, like he said, people are selling a house and then either upsizing or downsizing to a different house. And so it gets tricky because you have multiple agents, you have multiple escrow officers, multiple lenders, and you have to navigate and make sure the timelines are working accordingly.
Yeah.
And they're not perfect, right? It's real estate. Like, we have these timelines in place, but know that we do our very best, but there's so many people involved in this process. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, if you do not know how to navigate that, you're just going to be like, your clients are already stressed and you're going to be stressing, you know what I mean? Like, mm-hmm. And they're going to stress you out and you're going to be super stressed out. So definitely working with like someone that has the experience that has been through that is huge. Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question, man. This is a little different topic though. Okay. Like, have you ever heard of house hacking?
House hacking? No.
I mean, it's funny you haven't heard of it. I feel like you kind of know about it. House hacking is like ways you can make your home investment or your purchase or your whatever property work for you to make the most out of it, right? So an example is like house hacking. You buy a house with a detached garage. You taught me this one.
Oh, okay.
Like that would be a house hack, right? Is like
terminology. Got it.
I bought a house. It has a detached garage.
ADU.
Which became an ADU.
Yep.
But I didn't need to build anything because it was already there.
Yeah.
What other ideas for house hacks or making the most of your investment can you think of right now?
So I personally love this subject, right? I didn't realize it was called house hacking. So you learn something new every day.
And house hack, it's like the hottest thing, man. Everyone wants to house hack.
That's funny. Oh, man, I got to keep up with the millennial
Or you
terms.
buy a house with an extra bedroom so that you can rent one and qualify for a bigger house with your loan or whatever.
Totally. Yeah. So I think... I love this. So I run a couple rentals, and sometimes, you can find, I call these little gold mines, right? Where it's like you buy a house and there's a detached garage, and that detached garage has already been converted into a casita. It's got a little bathroom, it's got a little kitchenette. It's I love these because they're separate, right? They're separate dwellings from the main house. Mm-hmm. And so what's really nice about these properties is they're already done, right? Like I don't have to do anything besides put some carpet paint, make it pretty. And then it's a matter of now you're collecting 2 rents. And so what's really nice, I remember when my wife and I first bought our house, we bought a house that had a detached guest house. And when we bought it, it was already done. So we were renting out the back house, and that was literally covering our mortgage payment. We were renting, wild. Yeah, and we were living in the main house for free. Like, we just had to pay property taxes and SDG&E, and so it was wild. And it was really cool because we were able to stack up some chips to buy then our next house. And so, was it our dream house? Absolutely not. It was on a busy road. It wasn't where we wanted to be, but it was a good opportunity for us because we were young. We didn't have any kids, and we said, "Hey, honey, like this is a good stepping stone. Like let's buy this, and then in a few years we will buy something else. Because we're going to have some money saved, and we're going to be able to look for another opportunity." And so I like telling like a lot of first-time home buyers, like, hey, most of the time, like your first house is not going to be your dream house, and that's okay, and just know that like you're making an investment. And what I love about real estate is that you can buy this, and then afterwards you can rent it out, or you can kind of see where the market's at. Like, is it all-time high? Does it make sense to sell it, or should I just keep renting it out? Or there's a lot of good opportunities out there for sure. You got to keep looking.
They're still out there, right?
100%. And so, we want to keep these about 30 minutes. We don't want to bore you with too much, not bore you, right? But we want to make sure it's relevant and want to make sure it's short. So I think I want to kind of just end it with sellers. What's happening here with sellers? What's your take? I know that you just went to a listing presentation. Mm-hmm. What was that like?
Sellers right now, what's interesting, I'm noticing sellers is a lot of sellers are people that bought homes in 07, 08. Value has returned and exceeded. So now you do have equity. You've lived in that home for a while. You have the equity, and now you're cashing out. You're either leaving, and when I say leaving, I mean leaving California or San Diego, or you're moving laterally payment-wise, right? Mm-hmm. So you have equity in your home. You're buying a home that's either bigger or more suitable for your lifestyle now because it's not the same as when you bought it. Maybe you have more kids, or maybe you have horses now, whatever. Now you can afford a bigger or different property that might cost more, but essentially you're going to owe the same amount because of the equity you have. You can transfer it, right? And so the sellers right now that I've worked with are in a position to do that and really benefit themselves and find a better suitable home for themselves and still maintain the same payment.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you're a seller, like this, like the time is now, right? The time is now. If you're looking to sell, like this is the time. If you're looking to downsize, if you're looking to upsize, like you said, some of these people bought at the peak of the market and then the market went down, and ever since then they've been like, oh man, I hope this will recover again. And so now we finally recovered and some. And so if you're looking to sell, this would be a good time. But it's also got to make sense, right? Like if
again, the right time to move is when it makes sense for you.
100%. And so right now what we're noticing with sellers, it's really a seller's market. And so if you are looking to capitalize and take advantage of it, the time is now, because there's a lot of things that are in your favor. There's no inventory, right?
So everything is hot and new when it comes out, all new houses.
1 month's worth of inventory on the market. We have more buyers than houses. The supply and demand is crazy. And because rates are at all-time low, right? There's an all-time low, and so there's a lot of sellers right now. I'm getting sellers that are getting free rent back for like 2 months, which is unheard of. Like,
it's very beneficial to the seller, whether it's you need more time, you got to sell first, maybe you're not going to be. I've even seen houses that sell in January, but they're like, I don't want to move out till May. You know what I mean?
Crazy, yeah.
And it happens. But also along that same vein is if you haven't upgraded your house in 30 years. You can't expect the price that your neighbor got when they replaced all the flooring and did a new kitchen last year.
Yeah.
So it's it is a seller's market, but the buyers are savvier. It's not just let's just buy a house to buy a house, but their expectations are a little higher too.
Yes.
So you don't have to fix everything, but everything should be looking all right or working all right.
Absolutely, absolutely. But more than ever, painting that extra room is not really going to make a difference.
It's small things, right?
Yeah, small things. Like we're going to put fresh flowers in the front. Like, well, you know what?
You don't have to bake cookies before anyone comes over.
Yeah. As long as it smells good, looks good, like you're going to be all right, and everything's put away. So, if you're a seller, I definitely would take advantage of that. I would definitely take advantage of just, even if you're interested and you're watching this video and you want to know, like, hey, what's my home value, Ivan? Like, no commitments. Let us know. Joe and I would be happy to run some numbers for you and see what those numbers look like. And more importantly, like, after fees and everything, like, what is it that you're taking home, right? And if it makes sense, we educate a lot of our sellers, like, hey, I know you're going to making a great return on your investment, but where are you going to move to, and does that make sense, and what is that new payment going to be like? And so I have a seller right now. We're putting her house on the market next week, and she's like, Ivan, this is great, I want to sell it. Kind of similar scenario, we've outgrown this house, now I want to buy a bigger house. And so she's like, should I do it, should I not? And I said, well, let's put it on the market, let's test the market, let's see if somebody's willing to give us a rent back. We'll actually rent back the house for a couple months, and then that'll give us enough time to go look for a place. So you're not feeling like, oh, I have to go like move somewhere and like go live in a hotel, go live with my in-laws. Let's just be honest, nobody wants to live with their in-laws, like, so this gives them a good opportunity to really kind of take their time. And
for sure.
And also, like, once you sell your house, you have that cash available, so you're able to make moves, and your offer looks a lot more attractive. So yeah, so that's it, guys. I mean, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit, give you a little market update on what's happening behind our perspective as real estate agent professionals here in sunny San Diego. Wanted to see if you had any other stuff you wanted to.
I think overall, I think if you're in the market and you want to know more, we can tell you more about it. It's a really exciting time to be in real estate, whether you own or you're looking to buy. There's great rates and the prices are good for selling. So it's good for both people right now, which is a weird thing, right? That's why the market's so active.
Yeah.
It's not stale. It's something's always happening right now. It's because it's beneficial to both parties, and it can be when you're working with someone who can help you find that. So
yes, I love that. Well, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if you guys are in the market, if you're looking to buy or sell, or if you're a real estate agent out there and you're looking to join a top team here in San Diego County, let us know. We'd love to be a resource to you, answer any questions you may have. If you're looking to join a team, if you're looking to sell, buy, just any information, please shoot us a DM. My Instagram name is Ivan Sells Real Estate.
You can follow me at Gio Ruiz Realtor.
Yep. And so give us a follow. Thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, guys, the time is now.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Much love.